So I recently got Sonic Forces, the Sonic game that came out last year to less than rave reviews, and let's just say I have some things to say about it, which are probably too much to say in one video, so this is just the modern Sonic levels, and basically I've just recorded footage of all of them and I'm just going to talk over them, just kind of ad-lib, I guess. So this is the first level, Lost Valley, and it's honestly I wouldn't say it's a very good first level. It's kind of one of the most hold forwards and just run kind of levels. Um, I mean this first section, it's literally a straight line that you run through. There's nothing here, and the game is so automated that it turns the corner for you. Like, I mean, at the very least, it looks nice, but you can just run through all this. I know, obviously, if you want to get the red rings and stuff, you have to go down to other paths, but it's just not an interesting level, if you ask me. It's very short. It doesn't. The paths don't diverge much. There's the upper and lower bit here, and then you can either turn right or left after the big loop coming up. And there's just a lot of automated sections. Like, you can't even boost through automated sections in this game, which, at least Unleashed Generations let you do that. Like here, it just takes the camera around for you. You can't, there's no input. That's one of the main problems with the levels in Sonic Forces, if you ask me. Just the amount of automated bits that just play the game for you. It's not very interesting. But yeah. Also, S ranks are very easy to get in this game. Not quite as easy as Generations, but still very easy to get. Especially if, like I did when I was recording, you had the daily mission bonus. But anyway, next level, a gate. And this is... It has good concepts, this level, but it's too short. Everything, like, fun that's introduced gets... it goes by so quickly. Like the Crusher section's over now, but I will say the view here was nice, but like you get the choice of some paths, but again they're all very short. Like there's some 3D. This is like the most 3D platforming modern Sonic gets in this game, if I remember. But like there's the open section and it's finished. And now we've got 2D section, properly introducing those things, and it's over. This level has some fun concepts, and it would be fun if it was longer and just had a chance to expand the concepts. Like, but even like this kind of section, which in Generations Unleashed, it tends to be semi-randomized, but that one it always happens like that. And again, this section, you've got to be a little bit precise, but it's already over. This level, when I first saw this level when like the game leaked, I thought it looked pretty fun, but it is, but it's just very short. And then there's this bit, QTEs, and there is likely going to be stuttering in this footage because my laptop only just runs Sonic Forces. Like I have to run it at 720p and all that to get it to run at all. But like this section would be like a really fun section if it was like about platforming or even like homing attacking onto like the ships and like maybe like running on the surface of the Death Egg or whatever. Maybe make it a little bit Star Wars-esque, but it's just QTEs. And followed by a pointless skydiving and running section. Like completely pointless. Like, I don't quite get it. But up next is probably the worst of the modern Sonic levels, Luminous Forest, because it's even more egregious straight line boosting, to the point where it is possible to play the level with just one hand, like with just the boost, jump, and quick step right button. Like, there are complaints about like bowling pin enemies, like for the Avatar and Sonic, but this level kind of shows it off the most. Like, and like upper paths, you know, normally in Sonic games, like they're, you know, you sort of, it's a kind of skill thing to stay on the top path in games like the classics or Generations, but here it's very easy. And then there's the half-pipe sections, which a lot of people seemed to have trouble with these when the game first came out, like trouble flying off the sides. I haven't had problems with that, but I think that's just because the game is so automated that it, you know, but it's like, it's hard to not, you know, succeed. And also, you can't, you know, it's, I guess, I can also understand why that section is that automated, because there's so much carnage from the bowling pin enemies that you can't see what's going on. And another QTE section, except it's not as visually interesting as the one in Eggate. Yeah, the QTE sections aren't really that interesting for the most part. It's not much to say about them. You just press some buttons. Well, you just press the jump button in time with the thing. You know, at least the Sonic Unleashed ones, you know, they require some quick dexterity, although it's kind of, again, they're kind of egregious in that a lot of the time they'll kill you if you fail them, but they're at least more interesting than the Sonic Forces ones. And here we have Sunset Heights. Remember when people thought this was going to be the first level when we first saw footage of it? Because it still looks like a first level, if you ask me. And this is a level I actually don't think is that bad. It looks quite pretty, to be honest. Like, lots of background detail, things like reflections and stuff. And the level design ain't too bad. Like, this would be a passable first level. You know, you got the boost and stuff, you know, homing attacks. Yeah, if you noticed homing attacks here, get the red ring and all that. And automated bits aren't quite as long as well, which is nice. You know, the illusion of openness here. But you know, overall this level isn't too bad. And the 2D section has, you know, it actually has some platforming and alternate routes in it. Like, you know, I fell down here, but you can get back up. You know, the routes, you know, intertwine fairly decently in this level, honestly. Like, this feels like it, you know, Sunset Heights and the Avatar's Park Avenue level, because they share level design. You know, they feel like they had a bit more thought put into them, like the level design, even if they are still quite short and simple. They're still decently fun, you know. Like, again, this would be passable as a first level. Yes, it's short, but it just feels like it's a little more substance than like levels sort of like Lost Valley or Luminous Forest. But coming up next, though, is probably my favourite modern Sonic level in the game, Network Terminal. And the frame rate is probably going to be worse on this one than any other stage. I don't know why, it just seems to run worse. But this stage, I think, is actually quite good. You know, it has many alternate routes, and I'm taking the left route here, but the right route is different, but also viable. You know, and they amount to more than just simple side routes. They are actually sort of different routes and all that. And you know, they converge here. Then you can choose to either take the pulley or go up here and get a different route, which allows for some more rings and a red ring and all that. Although that is kind of all that we have for the 3D sections in Network Terminal, rail grinding, but it's still decently fun. And then the 2D section here is actually pretty decent as well. Like, there's a lot more depth to this level than a lot of the modern Sonic levels in the game. There's a lot of routes, and you can slide under a lot of things like that, which really opens up the level and gives you a lot of options for traversing through it. and I actually like learned about a different way to get up to the top route after recording this footage. Like I found another way of getting up there by stomping down onto a spring. And the top route here, unlike Luminous Forest where it's really easy to stay on, this top route requires some actual sort of good skill and platforming. And if I recall correctly, I fall off, like I get pushed down by something or something like that. Yeah, I don't make it to the rest of the top route. But that doesn't matter, because there's a good number of routes in this level. You know, which a lot of the levels I think enforces, I think they lack. Which is my main problem with level design enforcers. Like, I don't hate forces. Like, I complain about it a fair bit, but I don't dislike the game, I still have fun playing it. And levels like this are a good showcase of why. But, a lot of the levels are just kind of bland. And, it's not as fun as previous Booster Sonic games, in my opinion. And now we have Metropolitan Highway. This level's alright. The 2D sections actually are pretty decent. They have a fun gimmick with the sort of platforms that move. But the 3D sections, I mean, there's no platforming through it, it's just running. And this highlights the problem with the game where they removed the drift. But sections that would work with the drift in Unleashed and Generations are now replaced with weird steering, which we'll get onto. But I mean, the 2D section here, you have a couple paths, and you do have to make some skillful jumping. So that first 2D section, that's fine. It feels like a Sonic, Sonic level design. But why does that need to be able to? But these sections, you pretty much have to hold down the direction you're trying to steer. Like, don't hold forwards, just hold left or right as hard as you can and hope that you don't fly off the edge. And if you jump accidentally, that's it. But yeah, this section, though, with the platforms that move when you step on them, this is pretty fun, I'm not gonna lie. I failed to get the number rings, but yeah. It requires dexterity, fast reactions to avoid getting hit by the spikes. There are some good ideas in Sonic Forces levels. This jump always worries me because of how awkward Sonic's jump is in this game. But yeah, here we have another hope you don't fall off section. But yeah, that's kind of all there is to the level. Decent 2D sections, but the 3D sections are just hold left or right and hope you don't die. But that just leaves one more level for Modern Sonic, Mortar Canyon. And I've actually recorded Mortar Canyon twice, just to show a point about multiple routes in Sonic Forces levels, and kind of how Mortar Canyon itself kind of ruins its potential. Like, Mortar Canyon is pretty cool, I think, but it kind of ruins itself as well, as we'll see. Like, I like the premise of the level, like, in terms of the aesthetics and, and all that. And, like, the level design can be pretty cool at times, but, at the same time, it ruins itself sometimes. Like, it theoretically has a mix of platforming and boosting sections, but a lot of the time the platforming sections, or at least the bits where you have to be more careful about running, they put enemies over so you can homing attack, which kind of defeats the point. But, then there's running sections like this, which is fine. And then we have a platforming section here, which is skipped by a ramp, which they put directly in your path. Like, you don't even have to try. Like, in Generations or Unleashed, a shortcut like that you would have to try to get to. But in Forces, they put it right in your path, like right in the way. And you can boost over the level like this. While that's fun, it also defeats the point of the level. It's fun to figure out stuff like that, but at the same time, it's like, did they test these levels to make sure people can't do that? But yeah, that's one way of playing the level. I mean, one thing I'd appreciate about Mortar Canyon is that it does offer a few multiple routes. It's just, as this next recording of the level will show, it doesn't really amount to much. Like, it just amounts to you can go off to the left or right for a short amount before coming back to the main path. Like, it you know, it's sort of, instead of going down the middle, you could go down an automated section to get, like, some more rings or something. Like, it's not really a real path. You know, I mean, that one's not too bad, but, like, there are other ones where it's just, like, an automated path that leads you a different way to the homing attack chain. You know, to be fair, you can, like, jump down to this rail from a different way and all that. And, you know, in terms of the alternate routes, I mean, you can use the alternate routes as well, because the number rings and moon rings are put on these routes. But, like, there's platforming here, but they also have homing attack chains, so what's the point? It kind of just, ruins the point of the level. But overall, it's a decent level. It's not horrible. It's not Luminous Forest. It's not bland. It can be a fun level. And it's pretty cool that it's like an entirely 3D level, which I can't think of any Boost Sonic levels that are entirely 3D other than Wimble Isle Act 1 in Unleashed, and maybe some of the like Act 2 and 3s, like some of the like non-required acts in Unleashed, and maybe some of the really short ones in Colors, but it's been a while since I've properly played Colors. But yeah, those are the modern Sonic levels and forces. They're kind of like the most apt, for summing up the game, they're the most middle-of-the-road kind of levels in the game. They're decently fun to play, but at the same time don't always have much substance, which kind of ruins them sometimes, especially in the case of Luminous Forest. I mean, at least they're not like, the classic Sonic levels, which can have decent platforming, but also can be blocky and boring, and also you have to deal with classic Sonic's bad controls. But they can't be, they're not always as fun as the Avatar levels, which often just have a little bit more going for them in terms of set pieces and stuff, because they clearly focus more on the Avatar than anything else in the game. Speaking of, at some point, soon-ish maybe, depending on time, I will probably do a video like this for both the Avatar stages and the classic Sonic stages, and maybe even the boss fights. Oh, the bosses in this game are not good. But those are for another video. Thanks for watching. I've got other videos kind of similar to this. There's an end card. YouTube has the end card system now. Click on something maybe. I don't know.